Hey guys, Foxdrop here with the video that accompanies my patch 3.12 solo queue jungle tier list. Now the link to this tier list is in the description of this video, so just go scroll a little bit down into the description, find the link, and you can check the tier list out for yourself to have a look at the different ratings and explanations and stuff like that. Now, as you guys know, I'm always looking for ways to improve my content, to improve the stuff that I make for you and how I make it. And this tier list, each time that I make a new tier list, this is my third one, I get better and better, I think, or at least I try to improve each one. But the one thing which I think is the worst part about it is this video, the accompanying video. And I don't really know what to put in here that, in an ideal world, I'd want you guys to watch this video and take a look at the article, and it's hard for me to make this video better without making the article become redundant. I don't want to make this video so good and detailed that no one actually looks at there's no need for anyone to go and click on the article itself. So what I'm going to do, what I've decided to do, is I'm going to do a small explanation about the different layout and just the meta things about the tier list, and then I'm going to explain a handful of different champions. So basically, getting started, this tier list, the layout is there's going to be 4 different tiers, and those tiers are split into A and B. So 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A, and 4B. And the difference between tier 1 and tier 2 is pretty small, not that big, and the difference between A and B is even more small. It's basically preference, A and B. So if you see someone in 2A and you're like, oh, I think this guy could probably be in 1B, then don't worry about it, because those, it's such a small difference, it's not worth worrying about. So that's basically how the layout works. In this article as well, all the champions in tier 1A and B and tier 2A and B will have lengthy descriptions at the bottom, like here at the bottom of the article. All the different champions have lengthy explanations to them, and all of the champions which have their name in bold in the tier list as well will have explanations further down. And what defines champions tier, you can read this category this for yourself, with the requirements. It's just things like clear speed, dueling potential, sustain, ability to gank, how to transition to late game, how the meta favors, all that kind of stuff. So fairly detailed things, and different things have more impact on the actual on their placements. So yeah, that's the main stuff out of the way. So the ones that I want to talk about today, the tier list, the positions, I'm going to talk about Jinx, I'm going to talk about Olaf, I'm going to talk about Vi, and there was another one, but I forgot who that is, but we'll ignore that for now. Jinx, Olaf, Vi. So, who is it? So I'm just going to go Control F, Jinx. There she is in the tier list, and there she is, her explanation. So, I'm not going to read this out to you, but basically, I put Jinx in tier 3A. Now, tier 3 is for pretty good junglers, not great junglers, but okay junglers, and she's on the top tier of that. The biggest reason why she's not higher is because she's an AD carry, and the reason why AD carries are not so good in the jungle is because they do require a lot of farm. They need items to be effective, and junglers do not have as much access to farm. If you watch all my videos, then that phrase, do not have as much access to farm, is probably like makes your ears bleed because I say it so much, but it's true. Like when people ask me if people are good junglers, that is something which one of the biggest things you have to take into consideration, the fact that junglers work off of a budget. They don't get so much gold, especially compared to the laners. So Jinx being an AD carry, she does need a lot of gold because she needs a lot of items. So that means you're relying on being able to snowball early or just being able to AFK farm. And that's not good things to be relying on, and it's really unreliable. You can't be relying on the ability to snowball because it's just not going to happen in a lot of games. Her sustain isn't very good, in fact it's non-existent, but that's not too bad because you'll be buying Vamp Scepter or something like that in your build pretty early on anyway. Her dueling is not too bad, not great, but not too bad. Her ganks are hit and miss. They can be good, but they can be pretty poor as well. But with red buff, she's pretty good because you can swap to, is it Pow Pow? The rocket launcher? I think it's called Pow Pow, I'm not sure. You can swap to your rocket launcher, and then you have extended attack range, so you can actually apply a red buff from quite far away. She's not too bad, and her skirmishes are actually really good because of the way her traps, her E actually is very, very good for splitting up teams or zoning people in skirmishes, and she has quite a lot of damage early on as well. So that's where I put Jinx in 3A. Olaf got reworked. Olaf, yep, there he is. He's now in tier 2A, and basically some of you guys may know that I don't really like Olaf too much myself. I'm not a great Olaf player, but I don't want to put my personal bias into this tier list, which is why I ask other people who are who are at higher elo. I ask their opinions as well, because obviously it's a bit unfair for me to just be giving my personal opinion, because I could be biased, like I say. And Olaf is one of those places where I don't really like him too much, but other people think he's really good, people who are better with him than me, and it's not really fair if I judge him without being able to play him to his full effectiveness. And to be fair, I have seen that Olaf is pretty good, and this recent changes, they did a lot of changes to him. Basically now, overall, he now relies more on his basic attacks to do damage, because he has a flat AD steroid on his ulti when you activate it. He has attack speed steroid on it, attack speed steroid on his W, and his E, his true damage nuke, gets reduced by 1 second for each time you hit someone. So he relies more on actually punching people now, rather than just lobbing axes at people, walking over the axe, lobbing axes at people, hitting them with true damage, lobbing axes at people, while being like 4k health, you know, and pressing W and getting a huge AD steroid. So he's not really like that anymore. He's kind of changed a little bit, which is good, because his ultimate is very tricky to balance, because if you make someone immune to CC, then they can't, there's no counterplay to that person. If you can't like kite them or CC them, how are you going to get away from them, especially when they run Ghost, which is what most Olaf, if not all Olafs, do. So, but now the counterplay is that he's still immune to CC when he pops his ult, but his ult gives him passive MR and armor, so he's tankier when his ult is up. But when he uses his ulti, so when it goes on cooldown, he loses that passive MR and that passive armor, instead gains AD steroids. So he becomes he basically enrages and becomes he becomes like a berserker, you know. So which fits to his character quite nicely, actually. So he gets more damage when he puts his ult on, so he becomes very scary. But it's also easier to shut down and easier to peel off with your carries via death. Like, you can't actually peel him off with CC because he's still immune to CC, but you can kill him a lot easier than if he hadn't actually used his ulti. So that's a good trade-off, I think. And I think he's really good. I mean, he just has his slow now is it's a higher slow, and it doesn't decay anymore as well, which is quite cool. And I just think he just seems to be really strong in. And Olaf, when he's good, is really good, because he just can, as a jungler, he's really, really amazing at it. He fits the role perfectly because he's got CC. He can be really, really tanky, and he can just be a huge disruptor. So he's great as a jungler, and when he becomes good as a character as well, it's a match made in heaven. And that's what I think has happened to the new Olaf. Well, I think he's really good. 2A is actually a really, really good rating for a jungler. Definitely viable. And the last one I wanted to do was Vi. So let me just find Vi. Holy shit, okay, that's not going to work, because a lot of words have V and I in them, like having, providing, heavily. Let me just scroll up and find her. Where are you? Vi. There you are. So here's Vi. I did a Vi guide on my, on LoL Pro, so you can check that out as well if you want to learn more about Vi Jungle. But so the reason why Vi basically in the last tier list was at 2B, and now she's at 1A. Like, Vi is honestly one of the best junglers in the game right now, and the reason for that is that she has everything. She can duel really, really well. She doesn't need sustain. Well, basically sustain, in my opinion, has two parts to it. Either you have sustain like Aatrox has sustain, i.e. you just attack people and get loads of health back, or you have sustain like Vi has sustain, which is you have shields. And people underrate shields in the jungle. If you have a shield, then you're not, you know, that shield blocks a lot of the minion damage. It's basically like having sustain. Either you can take all that minion damage and then heal some of it back up with like lifesteal or something, or you can just not take that damage in the first place. Either way, sustain. So Vi has the shield for sustain. She has very, very quick clear speeds with her W, which gives you an attack speed steroid, and also does percentage max health damage. So high health targets take a lot of damage from it, and the jungle, especially the buffs, the dragon, baron, and the big creeps in the camps, all have huge amounts of health, so they get shredded by Vi's W. And the E means that it's an auto attack reset, so you can proc your W even quicker, and your E is an AoE. And if you charge up your Q, if you have blue buff for example, and you're not too afraid of running out of mana, then just having that to, if you engage the camp with your Q, that's huge damage as well. As well, her ganks are amazing. She's probably the best mid lane ganker in the game, and that's partially why she's so popular now, because a lot of the meta really revolves around those mid lane champions. And if you think about the bans that are active at the moment, so Zed, Fizz, Kassadin, all those people are, you know, Ari as well as another one, all those people are extremely powerful. Gragas being another very powerful mid laner too. a lot of the focus is put around the mid lane, and Vi is the best at ganking it. Why? Because before you even see Vi, if she's charging up her Q, the instant she pops out of a bush or wherever, it's too late. She can close the gap and hit you. Or when she hits level 6, the instant she pops out of a bush, boom, she pops her ult on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. She's just really, really good at shutting those mid laners down, or alternatively, snowballing your allied mid laners, those really powerful mid laners that you have, like I just mentioned. She's also really good in team fights, like the skirmishes that she can do mid game and late game. She can completely carry dive, or she can peel. She's not great at peeling. It's probably her biggest weakness, is that she's not great at peeling. But with CDR, you can use your Q quite a lot. And also, if you shred people's armor with your W, which is what your W does on the 3rd hit, then it makes it easier to take down those tanks that are sticking their faces in your carry. So that's why Vi is really, really strong. And basically that's where I want to end this video. That's kind of like a teaser of it. There are explanations for loads and loads of different champions here. Aatrox, for example, where I've put him, Nautilus, Yi, all these things. There are loads and loads of different explanations. And where I've got a recent video, or fairly recent enough for it to be relevant video on the champion, I've linked my videos as there as well. Most of them are commentaries, so you can watch me play a full game of these champions. And that's pretty much what I want to say in this video. And it's quite long, but whatever. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching this video, guys. Go check out the tier list. Again, like I say, link is in the description. You can leave any questions about the tier list or any comments you have in the comments of this video or in the comments of the article itself. I will try. There are going to be, I will warn you now, there will be repeat comments. Like, you guys will probably say at least, the same things 5 times over. Probably more times if you disagree on certain things. But I will try to answer most of them, but if they're repeated too much, then obviously I'm not going to answer too much repeated things. Just sift through the comments yourself and see if your question's already been answered by me. You will disagree with a lot of things, or not a lot of things, but you will disagree with some things. It's pretty much inevitable. That's the way tier list goes. At the end of the day, that's just my opinion. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video.